Alright guys and girls, Ryan here back with another video, and today I'm super excited. Finally got my Dillon 750 XL all set up. I've ran 30 rounds through here, went out to the range this morning. Good results. I had 0 failures. The recoil impulse was very similar. I couldn't differentiate this between the Federal Syntech round I'm trying to recreate on my own. So I'm pretty happy. Did a lot of research before I started reloading. And this process has kind of come full circle for me. I've always liked welding and working with metal and engines and stuff in the past. So I'm having a lot of fun reloading. I'm very, very new. This is the first time I've tried to recreate my own rounds on a very high volume. So I'm going to run some rounds through you and show you, I'm a very beginner, and show you just how easy it is. Having good equipment, reloading can be, and how fun it can be. So I'll go ahead and run some rounds here quick. I'm using the 147 grain round nose bullet from the Blue Bullets, and these actually weigh out to 150 grains. So that's the measurements I'm going to use. My gun ejects the brass the way I want it to, the same as the Federal stuff, and the gun cycles reliably, and I'm very happy with it. So here we go. One thing I don't know is how straight you have to have these bullets when you put them on here. I try to get them as straight as I can. The only 2 failures I've had with this machine has been user error. I haven't pushed the handle far enough forward to seat the new primers. And then I got powder everywhere. A couple things I know I want to upgrade to is the bullet tray. The bullet tray will sit right here on the strong mount versus just using just a tray on my table here. So I want to get the bullet tray. And I know you can't see it in the video, but I do not have a case feeder. So I'm painfully having to reload my small tube every like 20 rounds or so. So if you're trying to do a lot of rounds in a hurry, that could be very problematic. But I'll upgrade to that eventually. So it's too cold up here in Minnesota to chronograph any ammo. So unfortunately, I haven't been able to. Oh, there we got a split case. So that's going to be no good. I probably can't see it very well, but the case is torn on the side here, and that's not going to work. So I'll set that aside and pour that powder back in there. So since I'm so new at this, I'm going really slow, inspecting, double checking, triple checking. I'm weighing my powder every 20 rounds or so, and I'm staying right exactly where I want my powder drop to be. So the powder measure system on this 750 that came with it, I'm very happy with. Alright, so as I was reloading, I was having inconsistencies with my primers being fully seated and even working at all. So after some research, I figured out that, and yes, I'll call Dillon to get the new parts. But down here, this pulley keeps riding the side of the housing, and if you can see, that's not going to work. So I went to my local Ace Hardware, got some springs to hold it out there where it needs to be. So hopefully that'll fix it for now until the new parts arrive. Stay tuned. Alright, so here's the issue I was having. This primer rod, on some of the early model 750s, and I was lucky enough to get one, it didn't take much time on the internet to figure out that there was an issue. So I was having primers that weren't seating all the way, and I was having primers that just weren't appearing in the rounds, and then if you reload, you know what happens. You get powder everywhere. So some powder on my table, I cleaned a lot of it up, and you can see powder's been spilling. So anyway, I needed to fix this issue. So thank God for the interwebs, and what I came up with was I am going to order the new parts. However, to get me moving, unloading, I took a spring. I bought a few different springs at Ace Hardware, and I put a spring, and that will keep the rod in line with the top wheel, I guess you call it. Anyway, so this bottom rod, let's see get my finger in here. The bottom rod here was rubbing against the side of the housing, and that was creating my primer issues, at least from what I read online. I've loaded about 10-15 rounds since then, and I have not had any issues. So this will get me by until the meantime, till my new updated parts come in the mail. Another issue I was running into is that retainer spring in Station 2 wasn't touching my brass, so some of my brass wasn't centered perfectly to get the primer, to accept the primer, the new primer. So, and then I'm still filling this case tube, which I'll be upgrading to the case feeder soon. And then another thing, filling primer tubes. I didn't know anything about it, but I realized I need some different equipment to fill primer tubes. I have this little primer tray, and I need to get a nice one, so that'll be my next investment. Alright, so I got all the kinks worked out, so I thought I'd do a close-up video of me running some ammo. Again, I want the bullet tray, it's just more ergonomic than what I have going on right now. For me, it took a while to figure out what the primer feels like when you're putting the new primer in. So despite my issues, some of it was user error. Again, I'm going a little slower than probably a lot of people do, but besides being new to the process, I don't have a whole need to run thousands of rounds at a time. I enjoy doing it, so I figure, 300 to 500 rounds at a time. Alright, so that's going to conclude my video today. Again, I appreciate all the comments, messages, emails, people trying to help me out succeed in successfully reloading ammunition without having too many failures. So I appreciate all those comments. Keep them coming. Any tips, things that you see I'm doing wrong or I could be doing better, equipment wise or just me on how I'm operating things. So I appreciate that stuff. The next video will most likely be a workout video on how to build explosive movements or some type of meal prep video. So again, thanks for watching.